What's going on, y'all? Grace and peace. What's happening, everybody? Good to see you. You saw the thumbnail. You saw the title. You know what we're about to do. We're going to talk about can. One more time today. I promise you. I promise you. My goal is not to talk about her all the time. But she just be throwing me these little quick little alley oops, and I just got to dunk it. Just be giving me them lobs, and I got to go ahead and hit it. It's craziness, y'all. All right, so we're going to be talking about this Macron lawsuit. And I just want to go back in time for a quick second. And I'm going to go to the pleadings that the lawsuit filed by the Macrons. I want to talk about that. But before we get in too far, I want to say thank you to everybody who's already jumped into the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so very much for rocking with us, for hopping in. Thank you so much for that. I know it's kind of impromptu, but I want to say thank you nonetheless. I appreciate each and every one of y'all, whether you are a fan of the content or not, whether you're a supporter of Candace or not. I just want to find some information and talk about it. And it seems like Candace just keeps giving me information. So, hey, I appreciate you for sure. Thank you so much for jumping in with us on today. Real quick, let me make sure I got my screen shared. All right, here we go. This is from page 48 of the suit pleading against from the Claire Locke lawsuit filed against Candace Owens by the Macrons. All right. And I just want to look at paragraph 105. Think about it. This is page 48, and we're only on paragraph 105. So you know how long this thing was, right? Owens told the Macrons to bring this lawsuit. He continued, "Don't even waste your money on getting a courier to file. I'll file it for you. I'll run down to the courthouse and file the lawsuit for you," Owens claimed. "I might even cover your legal expenses." Owens displayed her ill will toward the Macron, stating, "I am disgusted by your relationship. You make me sick, Brigitte." All right. Now, I wanted to point that out because in a moment, all of this bravado, all of this chutzpah, all of this come at me, bro, bring it at me, bro, is going to really melt away. It's ridiculous. All right, let me bring this video in so we can kind of get, again, so a little bit more of Candace's behavior before we bring in what's happened as of today.
To take on this battle. You are officially a very goofy man, Brigitte. But I got to give it to you. You've definitely got balls. If you need any more evidence that Brigitte Macron is definitely a man, it is just what is happening right now. The idea that you would file this lawsuit is all of the proof that you need. Okay. I have been in communication with their lawyers, or via our lawyers, like their lawyers and my lawyers have been speaking, phone calls, emails since January. They did not send us a copy of the lawsuit. They did not give my lawyer a heads up that they were filing a lawsuit, but they did instead opt to give this lawsuit ahead of time to the Financial Times, the New York Times, CBS News. What does that tell you? It's a PR strategy. They don't care if they win. This is about running it through the press. I found out with all of you. I found out with the world. I found out from the Financial Times that I was being sued by the first couple of France. Not normal, guys. The Financial Times reported that the lawsuit also says that their filing includes a description of the circumstances in which they met. The president was a 15-year-old student at a Jesuit high school in Amiens when he first encountered Brigitte, then a 39-year-old married teacher with 3 children. So much of that is not true. Again, they're trying to say he's 15, he was 14. According to the filings, they, quote, formed a deeper intellectual connection when she directed a production of the 1971 Milan Kundera play, Jack and His Master, in which Macron played the lead role. And later, the two began meeting regularly to collaborate on another play. Their relationship, quote, remained within the bounds of the law, the filings say. But when the teenager's parents found out about his, quote, strong feelings for his teacher, they moved him to a different school. Before he left, he told her, "Whatever you do, I will marry you." Dude, you're such a creep. Like, the fact that you're stating this as a defense, and you're not even telling the truth here, okay? Because you can't ignore the facts of how old he was when he was in that play. You just can't. So happy to go through this in court. But do you realize how creepy you are? How creepy this sounds? His parents then took him away because I'm disgusting, right? Because I'm a creep. Because I had power over this student and tried to seduce him, not because I looked like Claudia Schiffer, because I'm just like a creepy old man. Like, that's what happened here. And you stating this is like, oh, it's so disgusting. We're not going to shut up. You're not going to bully us. The discovery alone is going to be out of this world. We would be required to depose President Donald Trump. Same day that you were here, I got the phone call. So what's going on? Which, by the way, he acknowledges that the phone call happened in this filing. You've met your match. I will see you in court.
All right. She's pretty confident, man. She is pretty confident. Well, if you've been keeping an eye on the news today, things got a little bit more interesting, shall we say. They got a little bit more spicy. They got a little bit more involved. Let's bring it in. Let's go. Let's go. There we go. The Macrons hire investigators to research U.S. influencer Candace Owens, podcaster who claimed French First Lady was born a male, had links to right-wing figures in Europe and the U.S. I hope this is not revelation knowledge, Candace. You knew this was coming. Again, we've all agreed that the way in which they met was totally wrong, totally inappropriate, all that kind of stuff like that. But they're married now, and it's been, 50 years. I don't understand, or however long it's been. I don't understand how Candace is trying to bring that up as if she's going to re-adjudicate the fact that she was a teacher with power over a student who was having a relationship with a student. That's totally out of pocket. That's crazy. What is she going to do about that now, though, Candace? That's the part. But keep going. Lawyers for Emmanuel and Brigitte Macron hired investigators to research the U.S. podcaster Candace Owens as they prepare to sue her, leading to a compilation of details, including about her ties to French far-right personalities and her popularity in Russia state media. This code gets so bad. Oh my gosh. Candace, why did you do this to yourself? The Macrons are suing Owens, a prominent right-wing influencer in the U.S., over what they described as outlandish, defamatory, and far-fetched fiction. In a podcast series that drew millions of listeners, her central claim is that Brigitte Macron was born male. All right? The investigations carried out by U.S.-based firm Nardello and Co. was produced before the French president and first lady filed their lawsuit against Owens last month. Okay, this causes me to be very aware because if you notice, and I did drop the link to the lawsuit right here. And by the way, Candace has not responded as of yet, but you notice that they talk a lot about Candace making money. She made a lot of money. They can't stop talking about money, money, and more money. I think we know why, because they already knew that she was making bread off of these stories, off of these podcasts, and they're going to probably come after all of it. If they win this, they're going to probably come after every dime she made and then some. And somebody says right here, she's whining on X. You know what? I did not even go over to X. I've been over here trying to make sure I have my clips right. I might have to go check on X before we get done. How about that? I'll try my best. Some details from the investigation were shared with the Financial Times, as well as describing her links to the far-right French investigators outlined her connections to far right-wing publicists, populist figures in the U.S. and U.K., and her online interactions with Russian nationalists. The Macrons have brought this lawsuit with the full knowledge of who Owens is aligned with, says Daniel Nardello, executive chair of Nardello Co. and former New York federal prosecutor. Candace, I don't feel good about this at all. I don't feel good about this at all for you. Candace Owens released a podcast series called Becoming Brigitte. We know about that. The decision to hire investigators highlights the seriousness with which the French president and the first lady are treating the lawsuit and resources they are willing to commit to the case. A rare example of a serving world leader suing an online influencer over their content. The decision to sue was driven in part by the Macron's desire to understand why an American conservative podcaster had taken an interest in them. Their lawyer, Tom Clare, co-founder of defamation specialist firm Clare Locke, told the Financial Times. He said the research could also help explain to a jury the context of which the Owens was making the claims. This is going to go so bad. How are they talking about? They're talking about a jury trial. So that means they've moved past discovery. So whatever they discover in discovery isn't going to stop this case, because they're looking at going to trial. They're going to one Charlie to stand before the judge and a jury of 12. Okay. This is not cute. Brigitte Macron has once again been caught, and between lawyers, international PR teams, and plus investigators, the couple is spending real money to quiet the paranoia of her past, said Owens. Okay. Exactly how much money was spent to determine that out of the total of 12,704 tweets, I twice retweeted a Russian philosopher, or that out of hundreds of speaking events worldwide, I once spoke at a conference in Paris with Marion Marshall. I bet you. Why did they file? Wait, they hired whom? Yeah, I don't think that's it, Candace. I think it's a little bit more than that. They want more than that. They don't just want to know that you quoted a French, or rather a Russian philosopher. I don't think that's it. It's got to be more than that. No, because her LLC is in Delaware. She filed it with the state where her LLC is, not where she lives. Because then the next question would be, why is Candace's LLC in Delaware and not in Tennessee where she lives? That could be the exact same back and forth question. Lawyers often commission investigators into people they tend to sue as part of their preparation for the cases or trials. The investigators' remit was to document Owens' published statements and detail her background and profile based on publicly available information. They outlined Owens' shift from identifying as a liberal early in her career to becoming a conservative after what she said was harassment online. She became a vocal supporter of Donald Trump, but recently broke with the U.S. president and said that she was embarrassed to have campaigned for him. Yes, they're suing her LLC and also her husband's LLC and her second company. And they're all in Delaware. Oh, it's getting fun. Let me double check. Let me bring up the pleading real quick so you can see. Hope I did this right. I did. Cool. All right. Shout out to you. So they're suing Emmanuel and Brigitte are suing. Let me get this out of the way. All right. Are suing Candace Owens. So they're suing Candace herself, Candace Owens LLC, and George Tom Inc. So they're suing Candace's LLC or company, and her husband's company. Dude said, man, how did I get into this trouble? He like, how did I get up in trouble with this? They outlined, okay, we talked about that. The investigators examined the origins and claims of Brigitte Macron was born a male. They found that while a Spanish blogger posted about it in May 2017, the idea gained traction in France from 21. In late 23, Xavier Pouchard, the former editor-in-chief of the French far-right fringe publication called Faits et Documents, helped spread the claims. Broussard said that his online video in April 24 that he had translated his work about Brigitte Macron into English and sent it to Owens and other Trumpists who he did not name. If somebody has read Broussard's book, can you confirm that Broussard in his book says that all of this is alleged? That's what I was told. So I haven't read his book. So you can jump on me if you want to. Jump on me in the comment section again. I have not read his book, but I'm understanding that he's saying that this book is all allegations or allegedly. This is all, not that these are facts. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, that might be why he's not being sued. Because everybody keeps saying, well, why are they not suing the French dude that wrote the book? Because the French dude said, hey, these are all speculations. These are all just hypotheses. These are all just some theories. I'm just noodling around. Whereas Candace is saying this stuff is empirical evidence, is facts, so on and so forth. That's what I think. But if you've read his book, or you have access to it, if you can confirm, you want to send me some screenshots, whatever, dearwokec@gmail.com. I'm going to keep using the dearwokec. I'm not going to change my old email. But I'll drop my email in here. If you have access to it, let me know. Because I would love to see it. Because I think that's why he's not being sued. Now, I could be wrong. I'm open to being wrong. But I don't think that there's some big grand conspiracy about why they're not suing Broussard, except the fact that if he said that this is all speculation, this is all allegations, and allegedly I can't prove this stuff, he might be off the hook. And there's got to be some reason, because he isn't being sued. So there's got to be some reason about it. Let's keep it going. The information he shared included the conclusions of his investigation and several news stories from other media organizations, such as the article published in the Daily Mail that covered the claims. I think she, Owens, knew nothing about Brigitte Macron only a month before, and suddenly she takes on the case and says she is putting her career on the line to reveal this, he said, adding that this had been a real boost for the Trump entourage. Broussard later wrote a book titled Becoming Brigitte, a title Owens would use for her own podcast about the Macrons. Yeah, I want to know, did this guy ever say that his investigation research was factual, or did he just say, hey, these are just some ideas. This is some things I'm thinking about. I mean, I could write a book about, I think that elementary school students should all wear baseball caps. And it's just a theory, just an idea. I've done no research. I've done no studying. I've done nothing. I just said, hey, you know what? I wrote a book, and I think all elementary kids from K5 to 5th grade should wear baseball caps to school. That will help them learn more. And this is all just my thoughts about it and whatever. Now, if you take it and run with it and say it's fact, and quote unquote do studies and the such of that nature to prove this crazy theory that I just came up with, who's at fault? I think it's the person that came up, you, not me. I'm literally saying, like, oh, this is just some things I'm thinking about, crazy thought I had while sitting by the pool, whatever. Keep it going. Owens' first reference to the theory came in March 24. A lot of people don't like the fact that I said that Candace Owens has Dunning-Kruger effect. A lot of people don't like that. And it's okay. You're going to be all right. You do realize that she has been on this train for a little less than a year and 3 months. Where are we at? We're in a year and 5 months. And she's already staking her entire career, everything that she's done prior to, everything she will do in the future on this story. Okay. Do you think she's done enough research? Maybe you feel like she has. Down in the comments, let me know. Do you think she's done sufficient research since March 2024 to say, hey, I staked my whole career on this notion that the dude looks like a lady? I mean, because we're out here playing, pin the Johnson on the world leader. Maybe you should do a little bit more research about it, Candace. Maybe you should do your own research apart from Broussard and Roy and Ray. Just a thought, just a crazy thought. The proof France First Lady, Owens' first reference of the theory came in March 2024. Episode of her show in which she mentioned a 2021 Daily Mail report headline, "The proof that France's First Lady wasn't born a man." The investigation found she also did a lengthy interview with Broussard on the podcast, casting him as a truth teller that the Macrons were trying to shut down. I might have to look at that podcast. I might have to look at it. But let me ask you a question. Has Candace ever interviewed like a classmate of the Macrons or a doctor that actually did the snip, snip, tuck, tuck? Whom did she talk to besides Broussard? What's her name? One of the ladies' name is Ray, and the other lady's name is Roy. Has she met with anybody else? Because, like a classmate, somebody used to live across the hall from her, the guy that used to make her lattes down at the cafe, somebody else that could corroborate this, say, oh yeah, I remember he used to be a man walking in, and then one day later walked in on high heels in a dress. Is there anybody else that could corroborate this? Again, classmates would be stellar. Friends of the kids. If you don't believe the kids, because I guess we're supposed to not believe, we got to believe a lot of Jedi mind trick about the 3 kids that Brigitte Macron has. We had to believe some pretty interesting things about that. So let's keep going. The investigators found that once Owens Becoming Brigitte series was released, Russian state-controlled outlets reported on it. I think it was reported elsewhere too. I got clips that it was reported a whole bunch of other places. I don't think that's a bombshell. Come on now. It was covered by Broussard, a TV channel led by Onestanian, I'm not going to butcher that man's name, whom the researchers described as an ally of Russian President Vladimir Putin. They found, I just can't. I'm not going to believe that these people are that connected and they got that much time. Russia's RT was posted about Owens more than 30 times since 2018, they found. Okay. To me, that's a nothing burger, but I mean, I guess we'll see when they reply. I guess we'll see. They did not find evidence that Owens had met with Russian officials or state media personalities or had direct personal or business links to Russia. I don't think we need to go down the road of the Russian collusion 2.0 scenario. That's just doing too much. But Owens has interacted on social media with Alexander Dugin, a Russian nationalist and philosopher. The investigation found with the two reposting each other's posts multiple times. Again, I'm not throwing her under the gondola because of that. What were they reposting? Maybe they're reposting bad jokes. Maybe they're reposting how to compost. Maybe they're reposting best ways to get old wax out of a jar that you want to keep for a candle. Who knows? Like, why? Tell us what they reposted. The investigators also found Owens had connections. Oh, no, not connections. Oh, not the connections. Again, I'm not defending Candace by a mile. But what we're not going to do on these internet streets today is say that you got connections with far-right politicians. The niece of French far-right leader, this person, Le Pen, Marcel, is no longer Le Pen's reassembled National Party, having joined the rival party that espouses harder positions on immigration and social issues. Yeah, that's a reach. Again, that's a reach. I'm sorry. I don't think we can just throw her under the bus because, like, what are the connections? What are the connections? At this point in the game, we need to know, how are these people connected? All the different levels, was it 6 levels of separation? Well, what are the levels? Because again, if it's just like, oh, they got connections because they all shop at the same Kroger, no, that's not going to work. And we cannot do that. If we're going to do a little, it's probably better than that, though. True. It's probably more nefarious than that. But again, we ain't going to do that. was the headline speaker at the 2019 convention at, I'm not going to butcher that, conference in Paris, organized by far-right and nationalist organizations close to Marcel, who also spoke at the event. Owens and Marcel have also posted about each other on social media site X, investigators found. All right. I'll give you like 2 layers of separation. I'll give you like 2. I still don't see that. Like, I would just hate. I mean, there's sometimes, man, you go on X, it's a whole different landscape than, Facebook or other places. You go on X, it's a whole different world. And you don't know all those people. I would hate to be like, oh, well, hey, I like stuff a lot. I very rarely retweet anything. But, oh, you liked this. Okay, what does that mean? I don't understand it. The investigation also outlined Owens' online criticism of Ukraine President Vladimir Zelensky, including calling him a sociopathic, deleting welfare queen. Wow. And describing him as a neighborhood what? Drug addict. Wow, Candace. Hey, let me talk about that for a second, because I've been talking about this. I just think it's adorable. Most of you all have seen the video where Candace is talking about that Trump called her, right? I do believe Trump did call her. I know people don't want to believe that, but I do believe Donald J. Trump called her. I believe that now. And the only reason I believe that he called her is he has not said that he didn't call her. Donald Trump would get on X or what's it called, Freedom Social or whatever, and put in a bottle. He would have got out there and said, I did not call Candace Owens, if he had not called Candace Owens. I think he called her. And he might have been trying to do the right thing. I think he was like, hey, look, that's all it takes to get this deal going? Hold on, let me grab my phone real quick. Hey, Candace, stop doing that dumb stuff. Stop talking about that man, woman, and be quiet. Stop it. I'll come on your podcast. Well, she denied it. This is my thing, though. One of Candace's big sticking points is she wants to save the children in the Middle East. She's all about, that this one particular group of people is hurting another particular group of people, and there's disproportionately a lot of children being hurt. Okay? Drop a 7 in the chat if you understand what I'm saying. So she has a big problem with the hurting of children, and she wants children to be safe. And I too want children to be safe. I too do not want children to be hurt. I agree with you. And y'all know what I'm talking about. The problem is, are children being hurt in a war like between Ukraine and Russia? Aren't they being hurt? And by default, if she had the power to actually stop a war, don't you think she would have did that? Because then she could say, I saved the kids in Ukraine and the kids in Russia. Now, I think Donald Trump called her. I don't think what Candace said to Donald Trump is necessarily true. That's me. I have no way of proving it, just like Candace has no way of proving to us at the moment that Donald Trump called her. That's what I'm going to leave it with. But can you imagine? She's talking about, all this big chest about how she wants to save the kids in Gaza and blah, 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 blah. What about the kids in Ukraine? What about the kids in Russia? Do they not matter? Because you could save them too. You could, hey, I'm out here stopping wars. My podcast, Stop Wars. Can you imagine that? Like, she would have like a tagline. The Candace Owens podcast. We stop wars over here. But no, instead of doing that, he just kept going, marching on about whether or not, playing pin the eggplant on the world leader. Okay. All right. Okay, Candace. I don't think the story, the way she told it, happened like it happened, like she's telling it. Now that I'm going with. Okay, let's keep this party going. Let's dance. The investigation also outlined, I already said it, she called him a crackhead. Yo, that's pretty savage, though. She called that man a crackhead. It found that Nagel From, leader of the Reform UK, was reported to have been a guest of honor at Owens' wedding to George Farmer, the former boss of social media platforms Parler. It highlighted her connection to Tucker Carlson, who has interviewed her online, and her posts about the brothers Andrew and Tristan Tate. The fact that y'all paid investigators to do that, this whole entire internet knew this stuff. I don't think there's any information in that last paragraph that is new. I don't think so. Y'all let me know if it's new, but I don't think anything they just told us was new. The Macron's lawsuit filed in Delaware accuses Owens of publishing falsehoods, including that Brigitte was born male under the name Jean-Michel Trudeau. French president and first lady were willing to travel to Delaware to appear in person for the trial, their lawyer Claire told the Financial Times last month. Candace is in trouble. I'm sorry. I'm not really, I don't see how she's going to get out of this. I mean, they are coming for, they didn't just file a lawsuit and hope that you would duck out of it. They're filing a lawsuit as if they're planning on going to trial. Now, maybe it's the biggest game of legal chicken on the block. I don't know. But what did you expect, Candace? That's the thing. Maybe that's the question I have. What did Candace expect that would happen if she antagonized them? She told them, "Hey, let me pull it back up. I remember what page it was. 140. It was on page 48. I can do better than this, Jason. It was on page 48. She said, Owens told the Macrons to, what did she actually expect to happen when she told a world leader, again, whether you like Macron or not, he's a world leader. She told him to bring this lawsuit. She continued, don't even waste your money on getting a courier to file. I'll file it for you. I'll run down to the courthouse and file the lawsuit for you. I might even cover your legal expenses. Baby, that sentence right there is going to haunt you for a long time. You shouldn't have said that. Owens displayed her ill will toward the Macrons, stating, I am disgusted by your relationship. You make me sick, Brigitte. And a lot of people have been asking the question, like, what does this matter to you? Like, what is to be disgusted by the relationship? I think it's creepy too. I think it's pretty wild. She's what, 700 years old and the dude is barely pushing 15. I think it's crazy. But what's that got to do with anything? And that doesn't mean just because you're 700 years old and you done married somebody that's a quarter of your age, I'm sorry, less than a percentage of your age, that still don't mean that the dude looks like a lady. It still don't. I am floored. And the fact that Candace has known about this for only about a year and a half. And I'm not saying that you can't do a lot of research in a year and a half, but I mean, you out here putting out babies, you out here getting fired from the Daily Wire, you out here starting a new podcast, and you're researching heavily on whether or not the First Lady of France has a Johnson. Okay. All right. Okay. Maybe you have enough time. Maybe you got 38 hours in your day, but most of us got 24. And I don't know how you got time to do that. That's stuff that you don't. But now, I think this sentence right here is going to come back and hit them. I might even cover your legal expenses. They said, hold my Chateau Elan. Hold my latte. We gonna make you. We gonna challenge you on that one. We gonna meet you there. Yo, this is some crazy, wild stuff. Okay, you know what else is crazy and wild? That there's 260 people in here on this best live stream on the planet. Thank you so much for jumping in. Jump in there real quick and hey, make sure you hit that like button and give me a flag to tell me where you're from. Help me out. All right, let me get this real quick. There we go. Drop a flag. Tell me where you're from. All right. We got some good stuff going on right there. There we go. All right, problems resolved right there. All right, shout out to everybody. Thank you so very much for being a part of the. Whoa, we have. Hey, look, we over here. We international over here. Tanya Harvey, shout out to you. We got the French in the building. What's going on, man? We got a French invasion happening over here. What's going on over here? We got a French invasion. Where am I? Come on now, people. We over here in the United States. We got to give the French a little bit of hospitality. We want to make sure we say what's up. Say we to the French. Scotland in the building. There we go. That's what's up. Say what's up to the people. Good to see y'all. Make sure you hit the live. Make sure you hit the like button on the best live chat on the internet. Thank you so much. And, let me know, especially if you're in France. Now, I've heard people comment in the comment section that this story is not as important in France. And I've heard people say that it is as important in France. So I'm going to use, Tanya is going to be our resident, Tanya and Michael are going to be our resident French reporters, boots on the ground. Is this really that important in France? And I'm just taking y'all's word for it. This is a very non-scientific study. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Thank you. This is very non-scientific. We're doing no research whatsoever. I just want to know, is this really that important? Because again, I've got comments on all my videos where a lot of people saying, yes, it is. And some people are saying not so much. So I just want to so Michael and Tanya, y'all are our boots on the ground resident investigators. Is that a good term? Good touch. What's going on? We got some people up in New York. Shout out the NYC. Good to see you. Thank you so much, Sonia, for stopping through. But yeah, I started out by just saying, hey, Candace came in here with a lot of air in her chest. He was talking some pretty serious trash, which, hey, I got respect. If you believe that you're right, I expect you to be all bought in. Candace is bought in on Candace's story. Hands down, no question about it. However, once this story got a little bit more legs under it, and you realize like, oh, they're not playing games. They mean exactly business. All of a sudden now it looks like, oh, well, hold on now. Okay, what's Tanya saying here? Exactly. There are more important stuff going on. The story was known before he came into power. Then he was reelected. I think you mean, please stop it. There we go. Thank you so much, Tanya. Wow, not a big deal here. Okay. And also, by the way, the Pritchard story, Xavier Pritchard's book. If anybody has access to that book, if there's a digital copy, I just want to know, does he say that his book is alleged or unsubstantiated claims? Because I do believe that's why he's not being sued versus Candace, who's been saying like, this is the gospel truth. And then people are like, yeah, that's a different gospel. And they ain't been wanting to. Oh, it's a novel. It's not important here. No one cares. Wow. No one here cares. That's messed up. Okay, so I don't know, y'all. The more I hear about it, and I'm just waiting. I am waiting every night. Lord, please let Candace respond to that lawsuit today. Please let her respond. And I have to learn patience. I'm learning patience because I want to read Candace's response to that lawsuit. That's what I want to read. That's what I want. Because I got the lawsuit here, and y'all have seen it, of course. We got the lawsuit right here. I want to read what Candace says in response to this stuff. All these links. And if, by the way, I did drop it in the chat earlier. Here's the lawsuit right here. I'm just going to drop it for y'all again. I want to read what she says in response to this. And people, there's some folk that are mad at Jay Witt podcast. They're like, man, you didn't watch the 6 hours of Becoming Brigitte. That's because I got other things to do. I'm not going to watch that. At best, I thought about it. At best, I was going to do like a watch party. I said, that's probably the best I can do is watch it with y'all, but I'm not going to even do that. I said, I don't want all that fluff. I don't want all that fluff. I want to know the facts that she is saying contradict what the Macrons said. End of day, that's what I want to read. Because, and I'll say this again, since that video series has dropped, I've found 2 instances where Candace has said something that contradicted what was in the actual video series. So therefore, the video series is incomplete because she has new theories, new ideas that were not in there. Don't even waste your time telling me about the dying sister theory. I just dropped the video showing the dying sister theory is not in her multi-part Becoming Brigitte video series. That's something new. What she said about the dying sister laying on her deathbed. Oh, I'm dying. Insert the old soap opera theme right here, editor Jason. Oh, I'm dying. Brother, take my identity. Go and live your truth. Ma'am, that's not in the series. It's not. It's not there. And it's also crazy. So, no, I'm not wasting my time watching it. Now, if you watched it, God bless you. God keep you, God make his face shine upon you. I know entirely too many people that have watched it, however, that have said, no, that thing is not a slam dunk. More people are saying it every day. So maybe, just maybe, we should just wait for Candace to give us her legal response to the legal claims of the Macrons. How about that? This is it. Okay, here we go. This will be it. This will be it. How about this? Candace gives a legal response to all of these claims. I will consider reading the book and do a chapter by chapter book review. How about that? Is that fair? Let me find this book. Let me find it real quick and see. Is it on the Amazon? There it is right there. We got to make sure it's in English though, my guy. Oh, that's not that bad. How many pages is that joint? 330 pages. Okay, I'm going to put it in the cart. I got it in the cart right now. But I need Candace to reply back to the Macrons. That's what I need. So I put the book in the cart. I put the book in the cart. I would love to know this question. I want to know how much was it doing to her husband? It's got to be stressful all around. To her husband, her kids. And she's got young children too. I think all of them are sub 6, 7 years old, right? And she got 4 of them. There's a lot of stress going on in Farmer Owens' house. I'd love to see it. I've heard this theory before. I've heard this theory. I'm going to go with, let's just do percentages, Jay, just for easy math. I'm going to say 70% not true, 30% possible. Is that right? Yeah. 70% not possible, 30% possible. And my little quick, I'm not convinced that was it. Oh, when grifting goes wrong, starring Candace Owens. That would be hilarious and it's crazy. Because that's a great question. Sonia says, if you have other things to do, then why are you doing this show? Because I can. Because I want to. I want to talk about this with 311 of my new dearest and nearest, and that's what I want to do. And that's it. I'm interested, but I would rather watch someone show who is giving better information. Okay, and that's perfectly fine. There are tons of other people that are way better than me. I am not even remotely close to me. I'm not even finished your comment. No, there's tons of other better content creators than me. Absolutely. I'm just giving you my social and political commentary from a Christian male perspective. I'm not holding you hostage. I appreciate you tapping in. I don't take for granted that 315 of y'all have tapped in with me and are in the best live chat on the internet. I don't take it for granted. I know that y'all came over here to hear me talk about this case, and y'all saw the thumbnail, you saw the title, and you jumped over here. So, I mean, that's the best I can do. I cannot do more than that. I got to do exactly what I can do. So I apologize. You're welcome to move it on, keep it on moving, I guess. If I hurt your feelings or whatever, I'm sorry. I'm just over here. I'm over here talking about things that interest me. And at the current moment, the Macrons are hiring an investigator to research the U.S. influencer Candace Owens. Interests me because Candace was talking all that mad trash. You know, hey, bring it. I'll take your legal fees, and you don't even have to file it. I'll file it for you. All that big talk. So I want to talk about it, and I think that 300 and now it's 308. I don't know. Maybe I ran some folk off. However, the people that are here, bless you, make sure you hit the like button anyway on your way out the door. Hey, I just want to talk about it. Since Candace Owens is playing international in the eggplant on the world leader, then I'm going to sit here and make fun of it. And I'm going to talk about it. And you know what? Patricia Grant said I'm okay, so I'm good with that. Hey, thank you so much for the very kind Super 600. She said this, a prediction. Candace will try to settle out of court when a court date is mandated. The Macrons will be like, get your assets together. We're going to court. Baby, that's exactly what's about to happen. Okay, but I do believe there could be an instance in which the Macrons will settle out of court. Okay? And what I think is they get Candace to put her hat in her hand, go on her channel and apologize, delete everything, and pay a very nasty, I mean, it's going to be violating. Because at this point, I now believe it's going to be $10 million or more. This thing is going to run up the score pretty bad. When you think about investigators going on X, they probably are traveling abroad for this, so on and so forth. They're running that score all the way up. And the law firm is not doing this, not believing that they have a chance to win it. So I wouldn't be surprised if she does. I'm not, but I do think that they're, as much as I think they probably want to drag her through the hot sands of wherever, I do think they could settle out of court. I mean, she was threatening them. I mean, she was like, bring it. I don't know how many of y'all read comic books. There is a, where is it? I don't see it, darn it. Yeah, Candace was like, look, it's me versus the world. Here it is right here. Candace said, it is me versus the world. And I'm about to, this is how she was handling it. Dude, this picture is terrible. It is terrible. All right, this is what Candace said. Candace said, look, if y'all remember the Infinity Gauntlet comic from the late 90s, Thanos, after he got the Infinity Gauntlet, he was the baddest thing in the universe. He said, everybody, come and get me. This is Candace right here. This is Candace. She got her research on her fingers, and she like, bring it. Bring it. The problem is The Macron said, yeah, we got something for you. We about to bring it for sure. What do we got here? Thank you so much, 600. He says this. Imagine Owens being a deplatformed as a condition. Oh, I did forget about that. You're right. That would just ruin her. Imagine. Well, if she's deplatformed, can she still have her own? Because she has her own website that houses. Being on YouTube is extra for her. Because when she was deplatformed off of YouTube before, she established a pretty robust platform of her own. So do you mean like kicked off the internet, period, or just off of YouTube when you say deplatform? Most people say when they say deplatform, they mean off of YouTube. That's just like an internal, you might not have known that part. There's a little internal inside baseball. What is this? Maybe Ben was onto something before we were. Who's Ben? But the Macrons are not going to settle. They do not want money. They want their reputation back. I was trying to shoot her some bail, Julie. I know exactly what you mean. You're right. You are correct. They might drag her through. I don't know, man. Daily Wire, Ben. Yo, you're right. Russia got other priorities. I hear a lot of people saying this, Lee, and I don't know that you're wrong. That she's mad at Trump. She's mad at Trump because he didn't give her a White House job. I was kind of wondering why he didn't, but now we're like, I think we know why. But then also you think about it, like she had already been wilding out with Kanye several years ago, all of that. So I'm not really surprised. I'm not terribly surprised at all. It seemed like she, in my opinion, sadly, I do think that Candace has taken on entirely too much as it relates to, and in my opinion, she's not reading the room and where her skills are best utilized. Everybody in the best live chat, there's 326 people who all have hit the like button. You have things that you really like. Right? You got some little niche thing that you're really interested in and nobody know, like a hobby or just a feigning interest. And in my opinion, Candace tends to take those feigning interests, those hobbies, and almost elevate them to life importance levels. And again, I don't know why. I have no idea why. But that's what I think happens. So she gets on this. She's like, man, why would they say that the president's wife is not a man? Let me look into this. And then she just goes on this rabbit hole and forgets to dig her way out of the rabbit hole. Like, let me get my way out of here. Then she lost. And now she just doesn't know her way out. So then she just fights. Come at me, bro. Come on, I dare you to sue me. And then they're like, oh, you dare me to sue you? Watch this. And now you're getting sued. Thank you, Six. What does Gail Drake says? At best, Brigitte is a PDF unless there's a DD. No. I at worst, I think that's the worst thing about her is that I don't care if Brigitte has a Johnson or not. There was PDF activities that were in play. As a school teacher, it is nasty, vile, wicked work what Brigitte did with Emmanuel Macron. That's hands down. That's where I think we really need to start and stay right there. That's some nasty work. And if other teachers are doing that, if other people who are in power over children and impressionable young adults are doing that kind of stuff, that's stuff you need to come off the top rope like old school Hulk Hogan. It really does not make any issue whether or not Macron has a Johnson. Let me finish. Candace has a big fall off her virtue signaling tree. I agree with you so much. Thank you so much for the very kind $5 super. There's some nasty work going on with the Macrons. Hands down, end of story. Tackle that. See, people came at me. Everybody came at, Jay Witt podcast. Because I said, hey, Candace's focus seems to be all over the place. Why are you fighting with the Macrons wife when the same thing has been said about the wife of the former president here in the United States? Why don't you go give Obama that smoke? Why don't you go do that? If the whole thing is about whether or not the dude looks like a lady, you don't have to go across the pond. You can stay right here in the United States and pick a fight with the United States president or former first lady. Why didn't you do that, Candace? Oh, that's right, because our defamation laws would apply to you, and you thought that they didn't apply if they were in France. My fault. You thought you could get away with that over because they wasn't, because you thought that because they was eating croissants, they couldn't come over here and that's what happened. You thought you could get away with it. That's your fault. Candace talked herself into her own problem. She talked herself into the trick bag. Nobody made her go in there. You talked yourself into that. And there's nobody's fault but your own. Wait, the whole book? Oh my goodness. Y'all hold on, let me see. Did Emil send me the whole book? Ay. I might need to check my email too, by the way. I need to check my email. My gosh. Y'all put it in chat. Put Emil in the chat. In capital letters, AMAL. Put it in the chat. Okay, now. And it's in English. Y'all put Emil in the chat. No, the age gap is crazy work. The age gap is crazy work. I'm not giving no duck, no cover. I ain't shooting no bail. You are not going to be able to get past them charges. Was it 29 and 15 or whatever? I don't know. What, 39 and 15? That's crazy. We should not be having that conversation. That's insane. But my point, we could have been having that conversation for the longest. That should have been the upfront. Candace, I'm thinking my claim right here. This is inappropriate. But even worse than that, like, what were you expecting to do? Are you going to annul their marriage and start throwing people in jail? Like, what's supposed to happen? Like, what is supposed to happen? And I'm not trying to be funny. Apart from you pointing out that, well, apparently everybody already knew it, so you didn't really point out new information. That Lady Macron possibly exerted power and abuse over Emmanuel Macron when he was in school. Okay. I hate to say it, but now it's 30 plus years later and they're married to one another. What is supposed to happen? Okay. I think this is it. I do think she has the wrong people in her ear. She wouldn't do that. She wouldn't dare call him Obama. Okay. I mean, they're married. They're married at this point, and I don't know what is supposed to happen. What's the punchline? And a lot of you all have heard me talk about this, but Candace professes to be a Christian. But what is the Christian response to this wicked, evil shenanigans? I'll wait for Candace to explain. There's no proof. I don't even, it's super weird and it's inappropriate. So, I mean, that's what it is. So, wow. So Emil has sent me this book. All right. I'm going to do some searching and see if I can find some of these terms like allegations or allegedly, right? I do not see it. I'm gonna look through it though. Thank you so much, Emil. I appreciate you, man. That's very kind of you. Thanks so much. Oh yeah, we're gonna I guess we're gonna go through the book. Oh my gosh. I'm gonna read a chapter. But I need Candace to go ahead and respond to that lawsuit though. For sure. I do need her to respond to that lawsuit. Oh, these chapters are not long at all. And they're in English. Okay, now this is okay. Okay. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. That is wild. Oh, absolutely. I totally believe it. If you go back and listen to Candace when she converted to becoming a Christian, um, I mean, within a few short hours, she was already quote unquote giving information. Same thing when she converted to Catholicism. She doesn't take the time to allow ideas to cultivate, marinate, and definitely not to be challenged before she runs off to the races with it. Oh man, I just got a foal was just born. Let's get over here to the Kentucky Derby. Like, no, it needs some time to mature. What are we doing? Why are you in the Kentucky Derby with a newborn foal? What is going on? Well, Trump, I mean, technically, Trump did try to protect her. If Trump called her and said, "Hey, Candace, you might want to take it down a notch. You're acting up," and she chose not to do it. I mean, he gave her an out. Think about it. She had the best out possible. She had put all these eggs in this Macron basket. The phone rings, and 47 says, "Hey, I got a way to get you out of this trouble. How about you just stop talking about the Macrons, and you can, we can stop a war. You can." He could have been like, "I stopped the war. I stopped the Ukraine-Russian war, y'all." She had a way out. And she looked at it, and she looked at that gift horse in the mouth and said, "No, thank you." I agree. I agree, but I'm just Flame Master 24. I'm going on the assumption that I do think Donald Trump called her. I do believe that now. I think Donald Trump called her. I don't think he would be quiet if she was out there saying that he called her and he actually didn't call her. So I'm thinking now, if somebody tell me Donald Trump jumped on Truth Social and said he did not call Candace, then all bets are off. But I think he did. And if he did, in fact, call her, I just don't think she's retelling the story exactly like it happened, because you don't actually hear her say, "What did he say after you said it doesn't matter? Macron married a woman with an eggplant." That's the end of her story. She doesn't actually say, like, how did the call end, or what did he say after that fact, or anything of that nature. So I think there's a little bit more. It could be historical revisionism, y'all. Hey, we all do it. We're all guilty of revisiting the story and telling it a little bit different than it happened. So that's just my little 2 cents. Wait, what? What story is this? She just, bless her heart. This is a great question. Where's Candace's husband that worships so much? Why is he silent when he's getting publicly humiliated by other white men with the level of power? That's a fantabulous question, Natasha Alexander. I don't know. I don't know. But she out here in these streets getting handed to her for sure. I think she needs it. I think whoever is running her legal team and her legal defense needs to tell her that, hey, let's tamper this down a whole lot. Let's at least leave the whole conversation about the Macrons alone. You still gonna get your 1 million views a day. Each video is still popping like hot grease, but let's stay off the Macrons. Get on Sydney Sweeney. Talk about Lizzo. Why in the world are Stanley Cups so efficient? Whatever, but talk about something else. Leave that alone for a while we try to get our way out of this. But she keeps talking about it every day. She read his book and other journalists who talked about it. Then she did try to follow his timeline and try to go further into genealogy, but she couldn't prove her point, fill in all the blanks. I'm just wondering, like, why aren't you interviewing people that used to live across the street from him? How about the kid that bagged their groceries down at the supermarket? Nobody went to church with them. Nobody washed their cars. Like there's nobody else that can help you corroborate this story besides the person that wrote the book and the two journalists. I'm not saying that they're frauds, but there's nobody else to corroborate this. Nobody. So, okay. Like no doctor, no nurse. Like I put her to sleep. I put him to sleep before we did the snip, snip, tuck, tuck, right? Or a doctor said, hey, I was there. She didn't have any kids. That would be good. Like, where are they? Why are we doing this? Wait. Is it really surprising that her husband is missing? Did he ever seem like, shout out to Vic, by the way, like he was leading anything? No, I don't think so. I just literally found a video about him telling a story about how they met. No, I don't. That's a fantastic question. I was just hoping against hope that maybe he would demonstrate some leadership and help in his household. But, you know, we're here nonetheless. We're here for sure. Shout out to Vic, man. Good to see you, brother. Grace and peace to you, man. Well, she was dogging Trump out. Absolutely. She's been talking about him. Then when she got sued, Trump was supposed to, and JD Vance was supposed to jump in and you know, stand up for free speech and all that stuff of that nature. Like, ma'am, no, ma'am. I don't think they want you like that, little bruh. I don't think they want you like that. It's gonna be, and I think you're right on the money. Her demeanor has become kind of hostile. And I got a feeling it's going to get worse. That's my thoughts. He could join up with TMZ. That would be wild. I think Farmer's a private person. Well, at this point in the game, they've been married, what, 4, 5, 6 years? That should already been learned. Like, this type of behavior is not acceptable. So obvious. I agree. I agree with you, Vic. Thank you, sir. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting story. I'm hoping that maybe Candace will go ahead and reply or respond to the lawsuit. So we have that. Now we can compare what the Macron say legally against what Candace says legally, so we can kind of get those comparisons, because that's where, in my opinion, that's all that matters. The video series doesn't matter like that because that's all Candace is saying stuff. There's tons of stuff in it that's not legally accurate, that she's not going to be able to legally prove. That wouldn't be in the lawsuit or the response to the lawsuit. So that's why I'm not losing any sleep about the lawsuit. I'm sorry, about the video series. All right. Okay, what we got right here. Shout out to everybody. Thank y'all so much for jumping into the best live chat. I think she took Tate's course, and maybe that's where, I hope not. Andrew Tate had some crazy course about how to be alpha male or something like that. I hope not. I mean, it is kind of hard for her to stand up against the Macrons, and you have Andrew Tate as a regular. Everybody knows, and you're not calling out Andrew Tate. It seems like that would be super problematic. Please don't let her start a GoFundMe. That will be so funny. Because all we're going to do is mock her. All we're going to do is point out, like, you are worth several $1 million. Your husband is worth multi-million dollars. No, you can't do that. I don't even think you can. Oh, this is a civil trial. I don't think you can. We have to look at the TOS for GoFundMe. I think it's going to be a problem if she's filing that. But if her supporters do, I guess they will. She starts a GoFundMe and they support it, then that's the decision they make. Everybody makes their own decision. Rock on. Yo. Saturday Night Live, didn't they just celebrate like the 50th year? That actually would be kind of fun. The problem is she wouldn't do well. She wouldn't do well at all. I hate to say it. It could be right. And I've said this multiple times. It is very possible that Candace could be 100% correct. Now, I'm giving her like 5% possibility and 95% wrong, but hey, it's possible. That being the case, though, I've asked the question, what does that matter? What does it matter? What changes? What gets worse? What gets better by knowing or not knowing this fact? What is it? Everybody keeps coming with these things. I'm like, but you still got to go pay bills. I still got to go cut my grass. I still got to go put gas in the car. None of those things change because of this information. Not one thing. Really? Y'all wild about that. Oh, okay. Owens can't find anything because European Convention on Human Rights, Article 8, right to respect for privacy and family life. Okay. That might be very well why. Thank you, Tanya. Tanya lives in France. I think that might be very well why she's not able to have. But so nobody? It just seemed like if she was on the right track, she would have ran into somebody. Like, man, I sit at the cafe every day. I was looking at a man for a while, and then lo and behold, it became a woman. Like somebody, it would just, to me, it just seemed like somebody would say, you know, I can corroborate this story. All right, lots of good conversation going on. I appreciate y'all. Thank you so much. Candace also fancies herself to be an anti-feminist. Correct. Yes. But she acts exactly like a feminist. She does not act feminine energy with Christian kindness. The girl speaks out of both sides of her mouth. Shout out to Julie. Absolutely. I agree with you. No argument for me at all. She's shifting in her undies right now. She said, are you going to let the president of another country sue a local podcaster? LOL. She is afraid of becoming impoverished by it. Big mouth. The president gave her a way out. He gave her the best lifeline possible. You can say that you chose to leave this story alone because you were looking for the betterment of the Ukraine-Russian conflict. And you got off of this train. Macron signed whatever agreements they were making, and we were able to close this and get Russia and Ukraine off of each other's necks. And you can claim that you're a part of that. But nope, she fighting us. And now look, now she's looking like, why are you not coming to defend me? Ma'am, he gave you the biggest lifeline possible. He threw you a lifeline. By calling you, again, I'm going on the premise that I do believe Trump called her. I just don't know if I believe fully how the conversation went. But I'm going to give her credit. So if Trump really did call her and said like, hey, leave Macron's wife alone. I know dude looks like a lady, but it's really a woman. Leave her alone. And she just said, something insulting and hung the phone up. What do you want them to do? Why should they stick their neck out anymore? I don't understand. George says this, people like Candace think saying allegedly, in my opinion, or just my theory, can protect them from libel and a slander suit. Also, slander, libel are protected under First Amendment laws. That's true. The problem is he's presenting this stuff like it's a fact after it's been exposed to her that it wasn't. A lot of people, if you listen to her, she talks about these strongly worded emails that she was getting from the Claire Locke. Is it Claire? Claire Locke law firm. Those were the redaction letters that Claire Locke mentioned in their pleading against her. She just treated it like it was just an email. Like me just sending you an email. Emil just sent me an email. Oh yeah, just an email from Emil. She's treating it like it didn't mean anything. No, this was the takedown letter that they sent. And she just treated it like, oh, it was just a strongly worded email. Ma'am, you did that yourself. And it's going to be hard for her to say, if they can show in the 3 different times that they sent these strongly worded emails, that they sent her evidence, they asked her to take it down, they told her that what she was saying was false. I don't know how she's going to get out of it saying that she didn't know when they literally told her in 4K or whatever K. I don't know what K strongly worded emails are. Pride comes before the fall. And Candace about to find about it all. She talks about theories all the time, but the problem, in my opinion, is, well, first of all, my first problem is, why is this even an issue that you have to theorize about? This degree. Again, I like a good little tinfoil every now and then. I got tinfoil lined baseball cap, right? I'm okay with you saying, hey, I got a little crazy idea here. This is a crazy thought I came up with. Let's laugh about it. Okay, that's the end of it. Why? I'm not going to make a video series about it. Why did you have to make a video series about this? And it appears, and I'm just going to ask, what type of research did you actually do? What interviews did you actually conduct besides those people that can corroborate what you are saying or disprove some things and ideas that you had? Because I point out again, the dying sister theory is not actually in her video series. That's something new that came up after the fact. That whole thing about the sister was dying on her deathbed. She gave her ID to her brother, said, go live your life, your authentic truth, whatever. That's not in the video series. He theorizes that the little girl dies as a child, as a child. And that's why I said it doesn't make sense. Like when you're talking about an 8-year age difference, that doesn't make sense. Sure, between 40 and 48 might be different, but we're still talking about a man and a woman. It just doesn't make sense, Candace. That's just it. And that's not my fault. Like, it's on Candace, and the problem is it's going to be on Candace to prove this stuff. She stayed her whole reputation on this. Why put your whole reputation on something that you've only been familiar with for about 17, 18 months? Why? That's not noble. That's not heroic. That just shows that you're wild. You would bet the whole house on something that you don't have a full grasp on. Why would you do that? That was her decision. Lots of good conversation in the chat. I appreciate you. Oh, okay. I gotta give you a short answer. No, nope. I don't know. I have no idea. I just can't imagine what this household is like. I can't imagine. I'm gonna go with. I don't think she has full support. But that's just me. I have no way of determining it. I have no way of corroborating my thoughts on it. But it just seemed like she done created a pretty mean hailstorm on their house, and I don't know what he needs to do to defend her. Oh, she gonna pay to let it go. I mean, if nothing else, I mean, they're gonna drag her into that for so long. Somebody asked, do I think the trial is going to be publicized? Absolutely. Absolutely. I think they are going to publicize that, and it's going to be a daily shellacking, and it's not going to be in her favor. Let me check real quick. I'm looking real quick, see if Delaware is one of those states, unlike like New York and Chicago. Okay. They don't stream this type of trial. If this is a defamation trial, they don't stream it. Yeah, so okay. So they don't stream it apparently in Delaware. So that's just looking it up. I would think that they would want to, but if they don't do it already, kind of like here in Georgia, we stream all of our cases. You can't change that. Like that's a law that they have to stream them. So you can't just jump in there and be like, I don't want mine streamed. Surprise, you shouldn't have committed a crime. And that double down was pretty spectacular. So we're going to see how it goes. We're going to see what's going on, Charity Washington. Good to see you. Yeah, we're going to see how it goes, but I love that Candace grifted too close to the sun, and now she's getting burnt. But instead of backing off, she's just throwing herself into the heat head first. I like that. Grifted too close to the sun. I like that. Listen, he attacked Jordan Peterson. I remember that. He got so ill from his overuse of some meds. That man, despite his weakness that we all have, has helped a lot of people. She has no Christianity to speak of. I don't disagree. I don't disagree, Gail. And that's I've made this point. Several people have said, you know, talking about Candace is not, I'm not being Christian because I'm talking about Candace. I'm like, I don't understand how that works. She will profess to be a Christian, behave in a way that's counter to our faith, and we're not supposed to say anything. Okay, gotcha. All right. Okay. Christy said, I'm just going to have to go to Delaware and sit in the courtroom. Christy, that would be so funny. That would be hilarious. Go. As much as I don't think as much as I wanted to go to trial, I think they're going to try to find some way to get out of that. They're going to find some way. I don't know. I mean, Shannon Sharp got out of his defamation. He just paid. I don't know. What if Candace says, look, I'm going to give you $100 million. Leave me alone. I don't know. I don't know. But that would be pretty funny, though. Shout out to you, for sure. Yeah, she wanted to go hard on the Weinstein thing until he said Qatar and Islam were his buyers. She dropped him as quick because she wanted it to be right. I just think it's very interesting. We're going to see. We are going to see. I cannot wait. I'm here for it. Let me see real quick. All right. I am here for it. Appreciate you. Thank you so much, Gil. Thank you so very much. I appreciate it. Yeah, you're not able to lie on somebody or commit a crime. So if I commit a crime, if it is a crime to read out George Golden's, third grade library number from Bumblebee Elementary School on the air, and I read it on the air, I can't claim free speech because I committed a crime and I spoke freely and I committed a crime of reading out his library number. That's my fault. That's on me. You think so? Of course, all her podcasts and works behind the scenes. Okay. Well, that's why he's getting sued too. That's why his company's getting sued right along with Candace's then. So, okay. I don't want to be disagreeable. I just can't. I would love to know how that looks. How they rocking with that? Because I can just see that being problematic at Whitaker Park. I can see that being problematic. But I don't disagree with you. Let me say that. I don't disagree with you. Maybe he treats it as a business. Business activity versus a marital activity. Maybe they keep those separate. I don't know. I do think she will respond, but it will be with her terms and demands. I think she will respond, repeat her claims, prove you are not, et cetera, et cetera. I think so. The only thing is her lawyers are going to be involved in this. So this is not just, us standing in the lunchroom arguing. This is not just us at the copier on the 5th floor debating. This is a legal proceeding. So I would hope that her lawyers take whatever she says and synthesize it and give us that legal response to what the Macron say. If it's just a Candace, for lack of a better term, a transcript of Candace rants, she's in trouble. She's in a whole lot of hot water. Well, thank you. Michael says, look, here in France, I love you guys. Shout out to you. And he wrote it in French. And I'm not going to insult your language by actually trying to pronounce that. What did Vic say? Sorry about that. And there's a lot of good folk in the chat. Thank you so very much. Okay, what we have here. Raquel says, I'm a French journalist here. French people don't care one way or another. None knows Candace Owens here, and a few that do view her as a nutcase, which she is. Wow. Well, Raquel, if you want to send me any, I don't want to say French newspapers, but any articles maybe that address this, if you all ever do address it, I just drop my email, Dear Woke C, in the comments. Please hit me up. I would love to. I'll talk about it just like I'm talking about the Financial Times today. Because this story is crazy. This story is just absolutely bonkers to me. Yeah, this is another thing too, CP. Thanks so much. I hope Candace Owens is ready to have all her dirty laundry exposed in court. She talked a lot of big game, but she got stuff back there she would much rather stay in the back corner of her closet, under the Adidas gym bag. She wants to stay way back there. That stuff might come out. She might not be as happy as she is today. I think her husband supports her. That's why she's able to build a robust website for her podcast. He must have gotten funding from his deep pockets. I can dig it. This thing, like, man, what would I? This would be something I would probably have told my wife. Yeah, we gotta let this go. No, I mean, Trump called you, babe. Well, we gotta let this go. Call him back, apologize, put your hat in your hand. And we're not going to go there. Deep pockets or not, I'm not fighting with France. and let me tell you, the Jay Witt podcast don't got deep pockets, but I'm not fighting with France. I'm barely even going to fight with Vic. Vic lives down the street from me. Which is a good point, though, by the way. Vic just said she didn't even take her husband's last name. She's still rocking that Owens. Look. That's a good point, though. She acts like Macrons have to prove something. They don't. And proving whether or not the dude looks like a lady is going to be way down the list. I think well before they get down to DNA testing or anything of that nature. I do think they probably are going to have to get like the most expensive gender reveal party in the history of ever at the moment. I do think that's going to probably end up happening if this goes the distance. But before they get there, Candace has got to prove that she wasn't sent the evidence and that she wasn't asked to stop and that she wasn't told that what she's saying is not true. I think that's going to be pretty bad. No, and because to me, I think the most, if you listen to a lot of these very smart legal people, the proof of malice, meaning I intentionally called Vic a name. I intentionally called Vic a name that I knew it was not, or I said something about Vic that I knew was not true. Malice. But you got to prove that. And in my opinion, if they prove that, the other ones, the dominoes just fall pretty quickly. I think it's not going to be as difficult to prove malice because if they did send the strongly worded emails to her and she just chose to jerk it off, she's in trouble, man. Especially when she was referencing the strongly worded emails when she did the picture of the little girl's communion, that family picture, her wedding picture, all that stuff is in the pleadings. That's the evidence that they sent her. Let me find it. And so if they sent you this and you just kind of laughed and kikied it off, ma'am, you're in trouble. I think you're in trouble. So, this information, I saw her talk about this on her show. I think she talked about this, but I know she talked about this picture right here. If they sent her this in the strongly worded email where they were asking her, saying, hey, what you're saying about us is not true. What you're saying is a lie, is not true. And all she did was just kiki and play and make fun of this. I think Candace is in trouble. I mean, what do you think? Again, I don't know how it works. And this picture, you see this all over the place. But where did we first see this picture? On Candace's page. There we go. That's a little girl. The was this communion or something? There it is. I'm not saying that here you go, the birth announcement. Okay. I don't know how she fixes this. I don't know how she resolves this issue because this seems like pretty straightforward. Here's the birth announcement. It was in the whatever newspaper that the little girl was born. I don't know how you fix that. And then these pictures that they sent you, okay, fine. You want more pictures, and it is what it is. Because I don't know that, I think that's going to be very interesting. Can you, as a defendant, ask for more evidence that the plaintiff didn't already give you? So if they give you this picture, can you say, okay, I want to know, I want to see the ticket stub from this event, or who took the picture? Like, how do I know who's taking the picture? Can you ask for more information? Or I don't know if you can do that. I mean, she was bombastic. And that's the thing. Like, she was pretty clear about it. I would love to hear a legal mind explain that, because I think she was very demonstratively clear that she was told in the redaction letter, the redaction demand. That's what it's called. Here it is. I just saw it. It's called the redaction demand. The December redaction demand. They sent it to her. Like, I would love to know, like, how do you get past that fact that you were sent this information and you just kind of keyed it off? That's going to be a problem, in my opinion. I don't know how she's going to square that peg. In France, rumor has it that Brigitte's daughters are also boys. I find that ridiculous. Man, at this point, man, they just, okay. At this point, y'all are saying stuff now. I mean, I would hate for y'all to, because this ain't kind of rude. to be insinuating that a woman, whether you like them or not, whether you agree with them politically or not, is like going to this extent to say that they're a man. That's kind of harsh, man. Kind of harsh. Her whole thing is make him a sandwich, but it seems like her husband is not leading, and she just flies off the handle regardless of how it affects him. I mean, she is responsible to not put him in the crosshairs like that, so I can kind of agree. Yeah, I think the issue is going to be proving malice. I mean, it's going to be hard because I'm thinking, sure, you could say Candace really believed what she was saying. That's true. But so did Fox News when they got sued for defamation and lost. So did Alex Jones when he got sued for defamation and lost. I don't think any of those people didn't believe what they were saying. I don't know. I don't know if belief in what you're saying is necessarily the watermark for whether or not you can beat the malice charge, because clearly those people believed it. I would like to see who did not, who did not believe what they were saying, end up winning a defamation case. That's what we need to look at. Is there some similarities? We have two figures, but the person really was just saying whatever. You know what? Perfect example. I don't believe Shannon Sharp believed that woman was married in his defamation case. I don't think Shannon Sharp meant that with malice. He did say it, and it did have an outcome, but I don't think he meant it with malice. I don't think he was out there, let me go out here and share a lie that's going to ultimately hurt this woman's career, her business, her reputation. I just want to share a lie. I don't think Shannon Sharp did that. I don't think he meant it like that. I think they were just telling jokes, just like guys do sometimes. I think he just stepped in it. I do think it was right for him to pay her off. I do think it was right for him to seek some form of restoration for her, but I don't think he meant it with malice, in my opinion. Let me see right here. And again, I think the malice entered in when he was told not to do it. I'm sorry, he was told, and they just kind of shirked it off. Derek, thank you so much, and didn't take down the. I think that's where the malice part came in. If they had taken it down, I think we wouldn't be having this conversation. I don't know about I admit I don't know anything about the Johnny Depp, Amber Rose, no Amber. Whatever name she was in Aquaman. I don't know the ins and outs of that one, but that's fine. Candace never spoke about the journalist trial when they lost the first trial. She only spoke about that. That is true. That is true as well. Macron better hire. What does Amethyst say? Better hire Trump's attorney. He won his defamation cases. Well, the case that I don't know if the Claire Locke law firm, they've won some pretty big defamation. Amber Heard, thank you so much. Defamation cases. So we will see. Amethyst, shout out to Amethyst Angel. Candace looked at it like everything else in her life, an easy bag. She's not as easy as she thought, but not as easy as she thought. I agree. What did you say there? If I stick around, it's a great live, and I'm sticking around. Well, thank you so much, Art. I appreciate you. Great to have you. So if you jumped in, we were just talking about this whole Candace case. They found out. I don't know how you found out, but the Macrons hired investigators to do some research on Candace. They're getting into digging into the weeds now. And it's not looking like they're trying to just settle this case, which I think is going to be super problematic for Candace for sure. So I'll drop the link. Let me put that link in the chat, by the way, just in case. Shout out to y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all, we got 260 folk up in here. What's going on? Shout out to y'all. and 256 likes. That's what I'm talking about. So my poll question is, have you liked this video? And of course, most people said absolutely, positively yes. Shout out to y'all. I got another one for y'all. I'm just asking, how is this case going to end? And whole question is up. How's this trial going? Oh, I'm sorry, where's this trial going? Is it going to go to the trial, baby? Is it going to get settled somehow? Or is it going to be somehow or another going to be some shenanigans? You know, shenanigans could be all kinds of stuff. Delays, somebody pass away, Martians attack, whatever. Most people, man, y'all want this trial, man. Hey, Kristen Mary, you might need to get ready because you might be going to Delaware to sit in that courtroom because these people want trial. These folks want to take it to trial. They're not feeling the settlement, though. Only 9% are saying settle. Candace's father-in-law, and in Wikipedia, he professed to be a born-again Christian. Michael Farmer, Baron Farmer. Okay. You're going to have to get ready, sis. Get ready. She said, I'm ready. Okay. I love it. Daily updates, regular updates. Don't be like in the movies when back in the day when they used to sit back in the movie with the little cameras, like trying to record. Don't be like that. Don't get in trouble. But all right, what we got here? Candace just asked for money on her live stream. See, Jesus Christ said, that's going to be the stuff that gets her in trouble. That's going to be the stuff that gets Candace Owens hooked. That's going to be it. Candace makes enough on YouTube alone. I'm sure she has like a paid platform as well, but just on YouTube alone, she does not need to go and do that. The poking the bear. Where's that? I'm sorry. Poking the bear of telling people to buy her merch on her store. Because of course her merch she probably got that, inflammatory stuff on there. That's only going to, okay, Candace. As my mama would say, you don't believe that fat meat is greasy. You gonna find out. Oh, it's gonna cost them more. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. $5 million, ma'am. That's the first spitball estimate. It's gonna be $10 million. It's gonna be 10. Because they're gonna ask for fees. They're running up the score. They're running up the score right now in 4K. Yeah, and if your husband has access to that kind of money and you're asking people for money in a tacit kind of way, you're gonna keep poking that bear, and we're gonna see what happens. If your husband's worth $250, ma'am, just stop. See if y'all can work out a settlement and get this off the plate. Because, ma'am, if it goes that far, they're gonna get you. They're gonna get you. They're gonna get you. Thank you so much, Susan, for the $2 super. Thank you for your channel. Well, thank you so very much. I appreciate you. What does she say here? Michael Baron Farmer's already distanced himself from Candace's views on Jews publicly. See, it's already. I don't see. No, I do think people are gonna probably donate to her, but please understand, Claire Locke is sitting right there watching. Click. Every time somebody buys something, that dollar sign, that cash register style is going on. I don't think it's gonna get that bad. Oh, I'm sorry. What'd you say right here? I know, right? I would not be asking for money if my right. Okay, yeah, right. And she just keep poking the bear. Go ahead and keep poking the bear, Candace. Go ahead. Go ahead. Because please understand, Candace is on YouTube crushing it. And as my mom would say, you know you on borrowed time. YouTube at any moment, at any given time, can say, we done with you. You got to go. You got to go. And they ain't got to give you a reason. This is their playground. If YouTube just decides, like, hey, Candace, I think we good with you. It's okay. You can go ahead and go. It's not you, it's me. And kick her off the platform. That's a lot. That's not a small amount of views and money that is going to get lost. Now, she can go to Rumble and all that stuff like everybody else does. But let me just real quick. You can go over to Rumble or all these other places, but I mean, she is crushing it over here on these YouTube streets. Okay, there's no question about it. She's doing a phenomenal job. She's definitely giving people value and what they want when they come to this channel, when they come to this platform. So this is her social blade. All right, so this is Candace's social blade. On a daily average, she's averaging basically 2 million views a day. That's insane. Some people don't get 2 million views in a year, right? She's crushing it. She almost got 16 million views in the last 30 days. That's insane. She is crushing it. She is not at a deficit. And that's an estimate. And I think that estimate is always out of whack from Social Blade because they have no way of knowing. But it's usually too low. Let me just say it like that. So she's crushing it. Imagine YouTube saying, Candace, yeah, we good with that. We good with that. You've been poking the bear, and we're not really that cool with that bear poking stuff. So we're going to go ahead and kick you off the platform. I mean, that's in excess of, could potentially be $900,000 a month she loses. But she got to keep poking the bear. Okay. I'm going to be quiet. I'm going to just go ahead and be quiet. Wow. Wait, what? Her new merch, Free Macron. She's digging a deeper hole for herself. Okay. I have no idea. What's the end goal of this? I would love to know. That would just be my question. Like, where does this go? Let me see real quick. I'm a sandwich. So yeah, she puts all her content on her channel, but I mean, YouTube is the most lucrative platform out there at the current moment. So, I mean, there's no way to shake that off. I mean, you're not going to beat those charges. Yeah, like I'm looking at her merch store and it's all like the first 3 things are all flights at the Macrons. Like, why would you, like, why do you want to keep prodding the bear? And of course, people are going to buy it. People are going to support her. Nothing wrong with that. But if they do, you do realize that this woman is doing pretty well for herself. So, hey, thank you so very much, Brian. Claire, that's her attorney. Absolutely. You mentioned actual malice. Legal Eagle did a breakdown of the case, and he did mention that those retraction letters were sent to build a case. I'm a pre-K law student. I get a gold star. The case for actual malice. She was informed that she was wrong. Shout out to Legal Eagle. But who is Legal Eagle? Let me see. I need to shout them out. I need to go check them out too. Legal Eagle. Is that I'm assuming that's the name of a channel. So yeah, I believe that. And Candace kept making fun of it, saying it was a strongly worded email. But no, it was actually that redaction that they were asking for you to stop doing this. Oh man, it's got a lot of subscribers. Great day. Seen this guy. I don't think I knew his name. Oh yeah, this is okay. I'm gonna check him out for sure. Thank you so much. That's not too long. I'll watch that one for sure. He did a video about Candace Owens defames the Macrons. Yeah. Thank you so much. That's a great one. Yeah. That part. That part. I mean, hey, I give a hat tip because it's hard out here in these YouTube streets. If you are bringing in, like, this is her social blade. And, it's speculative because they don't know the actual number. There are some things that play a part in this number, this estimated earnings number. But, like, let's just be honest. Today, Candace got 1.2 million views. So that's somewhere in excess of $5,000 to $18,000. I'm sorry, I got your face in the way. $5,000 to $18,000 today. Okay. But that number is speculative. They don't know your actual RPM. However, they can make a good guesstimate. So in the last 30 days, she had 60 million views, my guy. Think about all the brand deals and sales and t-shirts and mugs and all that stuff. 60 million views is crazy. Okay. That's some high level shenanigans right there. I love it. So yeah, I mean, if you told me that she made $900,000 in the last 30 days, I believe it. That's insane, man. 60 million views? That's crazy. I mean, she's getting better. I give credit where credit is due. She has basically 4.5 million subscribers. She's getting almost 25% of her subscribers are watching her content. There was a day when she almost had 100%. 3.5 million views. Now, granted, there could be people that are watching it that are not subscribers, of course, obviously, but that's a really high number. That's an insane number. If you are a content creator, she's almost at 25% of her subscribers watch her channel. That's insane. That number alone is commendable. Again, whether you like Candace or not, I got to give her credit. That's a fantastic number. Because if you're sitting here looking at, bring this back in. I'm not going to sit here and talk about this the whole night, but if you have 4.56 million subscribers, 4,560,000 subscribers, and you get 25% of that, roughly, that's crazy. It's a little bit better than that. I mean, she got some pretty good numbers. Most of us are striving to just get 10%. He's well over that. So I got to give her credit, man. But long story short, is she on Patreon, Discord, or X? I know she's on X. And who knows? I'm sure she probably multi-platform ism is a real thing. And she's probably on X. She's probably monetized on X. No doubt there. I don't know if she has a Discord. Discord, you don't make money off of Discord. But if she's on Rumble or Twitch or Kick, in those platforms, she could be making money there too. It might not be as much as this, but and she has her own website. So she can put her content up there, put it behind a paywall of her own making. So hey, I'll give her credit for it. So, but my point is, and the same thing that Tom Locke is going to do, is they're going to look at all that stuff. They're going to dig through all of that, especially if they get on the trail of winning and they know they're about to win. Please understand, she is going to get drugged through, and they are going to come after every dime they can get. You got a dime on MySpace, they coming for it. If you over there on SoundCloud, they coming for that money. They coming for it all. So all these different platforms, that's what those investigators are doing. They're lining all that stuff up. Okay, she's on Twitter. She's on X. Well, the same thing. She's on X. She's on Facebook. She's on YouTube. She's on Instagram. She's on Snapchat. And they're gonna find that money. And they're gonna have a field day. If they get to the point of blood in the water where they know they're about to win, please understand. This is gonna be a mess. So think about it like this. I just thought about this. Imagine if they win. I don't even know if this is even possible. If they win and they seek damages and they say, Candace Owens has damaged us since October 2024, and they're able to go back and look and say, since October 2024, you've made $13 million. At the current moment, she's made possibly $9 million this year up to this point. But they say, hey, since October, you made $13 million. Run me that money. X, you made $2 million. Instagram, Snapchat, SoundCloud, MySpace, AOL, they're going to get it all. They say, hey, and she made this money because she was making fun of Brigitte Macron. It is highly possible. Like I said, this thing could be far worse than she thought. Yes, you do pay taxes. This is a business. So Candace has a business. The Jay Witt podcast is a business. I pay taxes. Sometimes more than I want to pay, but it is what it is. But yeah, so this would be just like if I had a cookie shop, an auto detail shop, a camera repair store. I would pay my taxes. Same thing. You don't rock with AOL? Come on now. You know about MySpace. Y'all know about MySpace. Yeah, and I mean, again, like I commend podcasters, whether I like them or not, whether they say bad things about me or not. If they are out here crushing it, because you have to create a value statement that people agree with and say, let me go check this out. And so if she's creating a value statement that's getting, again, I can't even form the words, 1.2 million people to watch your content today. I barely get 1 million people watching a year. She got that many people today. I got to give you a hat tip. I gotta recognize game recognizes game. Like, yeah, that's incredible. That's incredible. But that being the case, however, it's still now let's look at what you actually are giving and providing, and therein is the rub. Well, you know what, Millicent, thank you so much for the $5 super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you so very much, y'all. Thank y'all for hanging out with me today. I jumped on here just to talk about this. I told a friend of mine, I was like, yo, I'm going to talk about this, the Macrons getting an investigator, which we all kind of knew that they were doing that. Like, you don't go to trial. I'm sorry. You don't unleash a 215 page lawsuit and you haven't done some research. I don't think that that's the case. So shout out for sure. Well, you can't, it's got game. Look, I give credit where credit is due, and I respect it. Like, man, can they also argue that her channel grew? Absolutely. No, I've already heard that argument. Hold on. There was a way, because I looked back and saw, oh, okay, here it is. Hold on. Okay. Shoot. Okay, let me pull this back in. Great question, Caddy. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. All right, I'm gonna pull back in Social Blade, and y'all look at this and you tell me what you see. Just look at it. I want you to look at this right here. Just look at it, and I want you to focus on right here in April. Let me get my little pen. I'm so off task, y'all. I was not supposed to be doing this all day. All right, I want y'all to look right here. Start right here. What do you notice going this way? What do you notice? I think you all see it. I think we all see it together, right? Something went nuclear in April, right? Something went off the rails. I wonder what it could have been. Whatever could it have been that caused her subscribers to go completely high calorie? It went insane, starting right about here. I wonder what it could be. I think we all know what it was. Absolutely. Okay, so that's her subscribers, but look at her views because she was demonetized up until April. So all of her views went down. I think they might have even asked her, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know this emphatically, so I'm only speculating. This is Jason's speculation as a content creator. This big dip where it goes down and she loses a lot of views, I think they asked her to take down some videos or get rid of videos that were problematic. She took down those problematic, whatever it was, they got her demonetized before. I don't know. I have no idea. But she took those down and she jumped on that doggone Macron hype train. And look at what happened. Look at what happened. When she jumped on the Macron, she went from 1.3 million views in May to 18.4 million views in June to 48 million views in July. I'll just stop. That's crazy. I just can't even, that doesn't even make sense. August, 55 million views. So she went from 1.3 million views in May to 55 million views in August. That's crazy. That's absolutely insane. So when I say, hey, she's creating content that people like. I might not agree with her, but I gotta give respect. That's crazy work though. That's crazy work. Hands down, no question about it. All right. Okay. Oh, I believe that. I think that was probably it. Because she's a train wreck and everyone wants to watch a train wreck. As soon as this gossip flies over, we're done with her. I can't. And and just think about it. How many people will want to rock with her after she gets shellacked? And let's say the Macrons come in there and they drop all the receipts, pictures from when she was born, family videos, brother comes in, everything. They drop all that stuff on her. And Candace gets egg on her face like nobody's business. Who's gonna come back for the next tabloid expose? I don't think anybody. She's gonna be in a lot of trouble. All right, we'll get here. People would think I'm crazy. I'm so upset this Candace did to us. She completely deceived us. I mean, I've seen a lot of comments from people that are really not rocking with the way Candace has moved, and I agree with them. And we're gonna see how it goes for sure. But I appreciate y'all. What we got here? I'm gonna go with you 100%. I'm with you, Gil, Rom. I don't want you to be alone. I'm gonna be right there with you. My only thing is, I'm not staking my career on anything. I'm not going to bankrupt my family over this. I'm not going to drag people from across the pond to come to Georgia to sue me over this. Why? The president wants to call me and tell me to stop it. Hey, I'll take his phone call. Absolutely. But besides that, I'm done. I am not that committed to it. Why is she so committed to this? That's the part nobody's made sense to me. Why are you so committed to this? Why is this the hill that you choose to plant your flag on? Why? Why, Candy? Why? I'm not crazy about Candace, but I got to give it to her. She knows how to make a great comeback. Hey, and that's why I'm giving credit. Like, You went from demonetized to the monetization that only I could dream of, right? So I give credit. I tip to her for sure. I just don't know if she's going to get out of this unscathed. That's my only problem, my only concern. Let me check something real quick. Okay, I got a few minutes. Got it. Candace wants to rid the world of bad guys. Okay, and I don't. Hey, that's a noble goal. I've said this before. I do think that this is, and I've said this. I did a video. I said Candace is going to take down a lot of people. A lot of different entities are going to suffer if Candace loses this, and by her antics. And one of them is the conservative movement, because people have attached her to conservatism, to Christianity, to Black conservatives, fill in the blank. And when she takes this L, it drags a whole bunch of other entities down, even if they're not really a part of it. It's like they use what they call a right-leaning podcaster in the article, right? So everybody's going to catch it because everybody's catching strays with this. But, oh, she's a podcaster. There you go. And later on, I think they call her right-leaning in the pleading, in the lawsuit. All right, everybody, I want y'all to thank you so much for rocking with me. It's been about 2 hours. It's been a lot of fun. I did drop the links to the articles that I read, as well as the filing, the lawsuit against Candace. I'm going to put them back in here real quick, and I'll put them in the description as soon as I get done. I realize I left the J-Whip podcast mobile in the driveway, and my wife is on her way around the corner. So I'd like to move out of the way before she gets home. But I will put those in the description as well. You're welcome to check those out. Thank you to everybody with the very kind supers and super stickers. Thank you so much. Thank you for everybody who jumped into the best live chat on the internet. Y'all make this thing the best. So shout out to you, green hearts in the chat for all of y'all, because you all make this the best live chat on the internet. I don't plan on coming back tonight, but if Candace drops something else, hey, I can't promise you I won't be coming back. But thank you so much for rocking with me. Shout out to everybody across the pond. Oh, thank you so much, Kristen Mary. Thank you so much. You need to get ready to go to Delaware, because you're going to be sitting in court for us. You're going to be our court appointed, our J-Wit podcast appointed court reporter. There we go. That's a pretty nice title. You need to write that down. Everybody, thank you so very much for rocking with me. We're going to do this again real soon. So until then, grace and peace. Have a great night.